And welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Lavelle, E. Neal, and the one and only Sid Hartman. I just keep being reminded, I never thought you could have been a politician, but every time I see Donald Trump, I think Sid Hartman could have been. Do you like him?
Why a politician?
Yeah, do you like Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
Huh?
Do you like Donald Trump? Do you like Donald Trump running for president?
I think Donald Trump would be a good president
See what I'm saying?
for this reason.
Here it comes.
He's a good businessman.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that they have guys who are strictly politicians, not businessmen, and I think Trump would make a very good president.
But it's politics.
Much better than Mrs. Clinton. I'll tell you
But
that.
you always thought that she had the advantage of the old man, you always called him, having Bill right there with her to help her.
Oh, God.
I just think he knows what
well,
business is about.
We better get
you're happy, Max.
Let's get to the
So why are you saying that?
I just look at you.
I'd say if you have the disadvantage of being non-white, you might not be that big of a Trump, but that's okay.
Twins best. Lavelle, you started. What did you learn about the Twins?
Well, I learned that we've overblown this whole, can Joe Mauer ever go back to catching again? A fan asked a question to Terry Ryan. It ends up being like this big headline caper at Target Field. I was like, he was never going back to catching. Once the doctors at Mayo told him he couldn't play anymore, that was it, you know? So, you know, it's interesting to see some of the body shapes. Phil Hughes is in good shape. Perkins looks like he's firmed up a little bit. J.R. Graham's lost 30 pounds. He looked emaciated when I saw him.
I love that in Double-A, but Phil Hughes is. They told him at the end of the year we can't put up with this again, and he went home to California and lost a lot of weight.
What is it about these pitchers though? They're the ones you guys got to get out. You know, they've got all this time between when they pitch. You think they can stay in great shape?
I think they might. You know, they got too many days off. If you're starting pitching, there's too much trouble to get in. You know?
And let's be honest here too.
Your turn. You had your turn.
What are you going to say? Go ahead.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Dave Mona came up with a good idea today. Mauer in right field and the South Korean at first base.
We don't know if he can play first base though.
Huh?
We don't know if he's good or not yet.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's okay. Apparently he's okay in Korea.
And then what?
Sano at DH?
What's he want to do with Sano?
Huh?
DH Sano?
DH Sano?
If he can play first base, that make him better defensively.
Mauer's not a
What am
bad
I missing
defensive first
here?
Yeah, but
baseman.
what are you going to do with Sano? Where's he going to play?
Huh?
What's Sano going to do then? What are you going to do with Sano?
Where do you play
So
Sano?
be the DH.
He's 23 years old. You don't have a 23-year-old DH. That's impossible.
Ultimately, can he play third base every day?
Hey, Sano runs faster than Mauer and has a strong arm. Technically, he should be in the outfield before Mauer. Stop
Sano.
moving Mauer around. Everybody else Mauer moved. What's wrong with you?
You think Sano will be a third baseman for a long time, Patrick?
No.
Eventually
I don't
or
think
not?
he'll ever play third base.
You think it's a Kadire kind of
I
thing
think
where eventually he just goes to the outfield?
Yep.
Hey, Max, they wanted Sano to lose 20 pounds during the offseason. He lost 5.
How much? Make this brief, will you? How much are they going to miss Hunter?
Leadership-wise, a lot. Production-wise, I think if Park hits 25 homers and drives in 80 runs, they won't miss it at all. But as far as leadership and all the intangibles in the clubhouse and being a motivational force, someone else is going to have to step up and take over for
I
him.
understand, Patrick, that Hunter kind of passed the baton leadership-wise to Brian Dozier at the Diamond Awards, or what was it?
I don't know. We can put the dances to a close and just play baseball. That's my feeling. But, you know, I guess so. I guess that's what he tried to do. But, you know, I've always thought that was nonsense.
Overrated?
Yeah, I always think it's fun. They got a lot of I mean, they got characters in there now. They got Rosario and Sano and Escobar and, you know, some of the other guys. They, you know, Plouffe is
How good do you
become an
think they're
outgoing
going to?
guy. I have no idea. I have no idea. It depends upon.
It's a weird team.
I don't have any idea if this Korean kid can hit a fastball or not. You know, he's.
And we won't know until he sees them.
They're going to strike out a lot.
But this
There's
is
gonna be a lot
probably one of the most difficult teams to forecast, the Twins, right now, because they're sitting there, you know, Santana, Hughes. There's a lot of guys that can go either way.
Yeah, you know, because Sano and Rosario was so impressive in the rookie campaigns last year. But before you want to start projecting them to do even more, you have to remember that Vargas and Santana were great 2 years ago and were awful last year. So how big of a jump are they going to make? How consistent is the starting rotation going to be? And there's no there's not a lot of power in that bullpen. So, and my thing is, they're going to strike out a lot. There's a lot of strikeouts. They only have one guy who's a decent on-base percentage guy, and that's Maurer.
Okay, so how about the outfield, Patrick? Did they miss Aaron Hicks ultimately, or does Buxton just, they don't miss his beat?
Here's what you do. You put Buxton in center field, and you draw a line from Sano that gives him about 30 feet
To cover.
and say, don't
even
ever
worry
get
about it."
over here because we don't want you killing Buxton. Buxton's going to be the best center fielder they ever had defensively.
I asked Buxton, I said,
It's Lavell's turn to
this way.
talk.
I asked Byron, I said, Byron, are you going to help?
You talked to Byron.
You're going to help Sano play the outfield. And Buxton told me yesterday, man, I'm just going to try to not get run over.
What were you going to say, Sid?
I give up.
Well, you were going to say something.
If Joe Mauer should have a great year,
Yeah.
and that guy from South Korea
Park.
turns out pretty good, then they could be pretty good.
Well, there's a lot of ifs on this team.
I think. But I don't know if Dozier is going to be the Dozier of the first part of the pre-All-Star season or the post-All-Star season. The post-All-Star, he did nothing. He hit nothing.
All right, here's a question.
Plouffe got to hit better. Plouffe didn't have a good year.
let him
last
RBI.
year.
Plouffe didn't have a good year. He had a good year.
He led him in RBIs.
Plouffe had a good year.
Here's a question I
Okay.
asked Neil Allen. I said, are we moving towards, with all these live arms that Kansas City has and whatnot, the Twins with Jepson and Perkins and nobody knows, are we moving towards a new phase of Major League Baseball where there won't be a designated closer? You'll just look at matchups that night and you have about 3 guys that can close a game.
Well, looks like the Yankees might do that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, right.
I think you know what? It's easy on the manager to have a closer.
True.
And then the closer comes in and screws it up and he says, he's my closer.
Run them out there again tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's his excuse, so I don't think so.
They're going to try.
The tougher position in baseball is the setup guy, the guys who have to come in and pull out the fire when there's runners on base in the 7th or 8th inning. Those guys are in the fire more than the closer a lot of times, thanks to Tony
General
La Russa.
manager is claiming he's going to go out there get another player. What's he going to get, a bullpen?
I don't know who's out there right now that they'd be interested
Yeah,
in.
they'd probably have, if
Usually you can find
Milwaukee'd give him Will Smith for Oswaldo Arcia so Ozzie can play with
his
his
brother?
brother, they'd probably do it.
I would go
Take a
for
break,
that.
come back, stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
I chose U8 to travel throughout time because the future of the world is in peril.
I say we kick some ass.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
See it first Thursday at 7 on CW-23.
Now, for a limited time, get a 6-inch Applewood pulled pork sandwich with barbecue sauce at your neighborhood Subway restaurant for just $2.99. We're talking tender pulled pork, slow cooked and covered in rich barbecue sauce with a smoky flavor. Only $2.99. Subway, eat fresh.
Get fast cash and bring your unwanted gift cards to Uptown Pawn in Minneapolis. Store credit, gift cards, and merchandise return credits accepted. Bring them in and get fast cash now. Your source for pawn loans and more at Uptown Pawn on the corner of Lake Street and Pleasant Avenue.
It's back at Luther Kia in Inver Grove and Bloomington. Just $1 down and $239 a month on a new 2015 Sorento LX. Do you have a job? Do you have $1 down? You could be approved today. Guaranteed. Luther Kia. 2 locations, 1 very low price.
An odometer under 15,000 miles and an up to 5-year, 75,000-mile warranty makes it elite. the way it does this makes it a BMW. Introducing BMW Certified Pre-Owned Elite.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's Perfect Supper Club. Any night you come downtown Minneapolis to take in a concert, a game, whatever it is, J.D. Hoyt's is your one stop before the game. Say hi to Pat and the gang at J.D. Hoyt's on Washington. Welcome back to the sports show. Before we leave the Minnesota Twins, Patrick, a guy that you covered and is a contemporary, but we're always reminded of how fragile life is Rod Carew. Now, we heard about the heart attack, we heard it life-threatening, but until you see it and you see him and you talk to him, you realize how profound it is.
I'm not sure what a great idea it is for him to come to spring training. He told me he was down to 162. He's gained about 5 pounds now, but yeah, he's it also tells you that stout guys like Lavelle and I might have. Rodney weighs like 2 pounds more than he weighed when he played. When he had his heart attack. So as Rodney says, get checked, because if he can have a heart attack, anybody can have a heart attack.
I agree with it. Why would he go to spring training with the condition he's in? I had him on a show today, and he don't sound good. I'll tell you that. He is not the Rod Carew before he had that attack.
Well, the people who saw him out there a month or 6 weeks after the heart attack thinks he's doing pretty good, and he is. But
relatively speaking,
he'll be getting hard here hopefully in a few months. So.
He must have been cleared to go to spring training. The doctors going to stop this.
Well, the doctors, I think, kind of want him to get out. He says he takes a mile walk every day.
As good a pure hitter as you ever saw?
Well, he's a different kind of hitter, but he was fantastic.
You didn't strike him out, though.
No, the bat was a wand.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. Yeah, he was, just 7 batting titles. What the hell? I tell you, I've visited him a couple times at his house in Gold Valley, and you walk in and there's 5 or 6 silver bats. It kind of tells you that those are nice-looking trophies. That's maybe the best trophy I've ever seen.
Yeah. He always does pretty good in that department.
He really wants to work with Buxton. I think it's another reason why he wants to get some spring training, wants to talk to Buxton about some of the things that happened to him last year.
But he's bringing 2 cats, and I'm worried about Eddie Escobar, because last year Eddie saw his cat and almost had a nervous breakdown. Eddie hates cats.
He's afraid of cats?
Yeah.
His doctors may tell him not to go to spring training.
I think at this point they told him he can. So.
Yeah, well, we'll see. NFL, as we head towards the Super Bowl, Sydney, you're not a big Super Bowl guy in terms of attending anymore.
No, because I think the Super Bowl has become strictly a commercial deal. Even the press, while they do well for the press Monday with the media day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they take you to the hotel. But after the game, you can forget about it.
That's from a media standpoint.
Yeah. You have no chance to talk to the players.
The paper wanted some Super Bowl memories, so today I was hacking it out this morning, and my number 1 Super Bowl memory, Doug Williams lights up the Denver Broncos.
One of the greatest
35 points in the second quarter, and Qualcomm Stadium, Jack Murphy then, got a little tiny area to get through. So it's 6 lanes of traffic trying to get into 2 lanes. And we're all going like this and pushing like this. And even I get pushed to my right, and Eddie Robinson is standing there.
Oh, wow.
Doug Williams, coach at Grambling, and I'd met him before and done a story on him. And I said, Hey, Coach.
I got an idea. Yeah.
They were all fighting it. I was writing to Doug talked to Eddie for 12 minutes and went back upstairs. It was the greatest Super Bowl of my life.
Every once in a while you hit
That's
one of
what happens. My best deal was Mike Shanahan was the coach. So I come in, he says, come on with me, get on my card.
After they'd won the Super Bowl?
So I get on the card, I'll get a couple of players for you. So I get him in a tape, and he gets me Elway, and he gets me somebody else.
And you wrote that for your column?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. You think the Vikings are going to do much this offseason?
I think the big question is, will they bring the right tackle back?
Mm-hmm. Loadholt.
Loadholt.
They thought he was kind of breaking down before he got hurt.
Will they pay him?
Right.
Why don't they?
But there's other.
I think they're going to take another linebacker from UCLA, Kennedy McGrace, who they say is better than Barr and better than not anybody they take.
What's his name?
What?
The linebacker from UCLA. I don't think he played this year. He just
I don't know.
sat out to
My theory is they should sign
Miles Jack.
They should
That's
sign
his
a free agent lineman. Don't you?
Offensive, you
let
mean?
old Holt go and spend. They're going to have plenty of money to spend. They got a lot of money to spend if they want to spend it. So.
Yeah, I just don't know what's out there.
Well, they got money.
I said they do have a lot of money to spend.
And they got a new offensive line coach who will evaluate them.
That's right. Yeah. Zimmer's been bringing in some former coaches in tow here to kind of help the program along a little bit. I'm curious to see how Shermer fits in with all this.
The offense better be good when they get the bye week, or we might have a change.
So PA's boy Uncle Norv may be in trouble.
I think they'll spend some money for an offensive lineman. I really do.
But who? I don't even know who's out there.
Well, the guy in Cleveland.
Maybe they can get Khalil's brother.
Maybe Cleveland don't want to pay him the money anymore.
All right, take a break, come back, stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life.
Same time next week.
When it drives and looks like new, you'll want to treat it like new. Certified pre-owned by BMW.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Go into Bobby and Steve's Auto World for great savings on all Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. Plus, get $60 on your World Rewards card. Schedule your appointment at BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com or just stop in.
You're watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lavelle E. Neal, and Sid Hartman. Timberwolves, Sid.
Well, they got blown out the last game, 14 straight points by the opposition.
By Utah, yep.
By Utah, and Utah's no bargain. They had beaten Utah the time before, but I think there's a good future there.
That's what I don't know.
I
Patrick,
think Levine has become so good.
I know what you're saying. He had 35 points. He had 19 straight field goals. I just can't tell anymore, Patrick, if young players end up growing together.
I'd like to see, that's what I was going to say. I'd like to know if that's the guy who not scoring 35, but playing. Yeah. Are we going to see him play good 20 games a year like he's playing now, or 50 games a year? If he's going to play good 50 games a year, then you're fine. The guy who's disappeared lately, though, is Wiggins. So.
Yeah. And I don't know if these young guys are going in the right direction.
Carl Anthony
I
Towns,
think
we know
he'll be
he's
good.
He's gonna be a player.
fantastic.
Yes.
Pekovic, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
You're not still counting on him.
If he could get healthy,
Oh, come on.
I think
I think just write that off.
they could be pretty good.
Louis
If
used
he
to
could
say
get
that
healthy,
about
then they could
Gary
trade him.
Sargent when he missed 3 years.
If he can get healthy, then they could trade him. That's
The
what they do.
NBA, though, Lavelle, when you talk about going in, I mean, there's 3 teams in the West. That's it. They're going to play for the finals. Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Golden State. That's it. I mean, you know this.
And despite LeBron firing his coach, the Cavaliers will probably end up getting out of the East right now, the way that things are going there, because the Bulls are not a consistent team. Atlanta, no. Cleveland, for all the stuff that's been going on with Tyronn Lue taking over as head coach, I think they'll be the team coming out of the East.
It's still the toughest league. That's why it's the toughest league to win in, because you got 5 teams that win 60 games. They take up a lot of. They take up a lot of the wins.
And someone has to lose those games, like Minnesota and Philadelphia.
They have played some good teams right to the end.
Yeah, and it's not up in the, but the Gophers have too. I don't know what that means anymore.
I don't
If that
see
means
The
you get better-
Gophers at the Indiana game, if they get a basket with about a minute to play,
Terrible possession.
they got a chance to win that game.
It was a terrible possession.
But let me say this: Michigan played terrible against them.
Yep.
Indiana played terrible against them. Purdue played terrible against them, and they still managed to lose to all 3 of them. They all played terrible.
Illinois was awful against them, and they should have won that game. So it's one
Indiana-
coulda, shouldas, doesn't matter. There's no moral victory column.
Indiana's not that good. Purdue's not that good.
They're more talented.
None of those teams, there isn't a real good team in the Big Ten.
What about attendance, not just with the Gophers, but across the board? Indiana doesn't sell out. Iowa doesn't sell out. Those are the teams at the top of the Big Ten right now.
I don't think I think Maryland might be the only good team in the whole Big Ten.
I mean, college basketball has said such overkill.
I do too.
The schedule starts in early November.
Yep.
You know, back in the day, it started late November, early December. Games meant something. It's just and now you got an 18-team Big Ten conference, and I mean an 18-team schedule with 14 teams. The Gophers play Rutgers twice and Iowa once.
Yep.
It's idiotic.
Yeah, that's right. So you're going to New Jersey and back, but you're only going to Iowa City or back.
How about the Big Ten making a big deal out of this weekend at Madison Square Garden, where they have a college basketball game during the day and a hockey game at night? It was Michigan against who during the day, and then it was Michigan
I think
against
I'm going
Penn
to
State
go
at night?
next year because Wisconsin will be playing a hockey game there. That'll be exciting.
The big bad Badgers, huh?
But the NCAA tournament's going to be exciting because you don't know who's going to come out.
Well, I guess that's the good news. What were you going to say?
He's an expert on college hockey now,
Yeah.
on
She
everything.
wanted to add something.
And the one sport he's not an expert is baseball.
Oh, come on. You did a good job with the Diamond Awards the other night again.
Thank you very much.
Lavelle?
Yeah, Sid, by the way, where was your donation to the cause, by the way? How much money have you donated to the Diamond
We
Awards?
can't hear you now. Take a break. Come back. Stay with us on the sports.
I didn't.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law. For all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us. Edge Marketing and Promotional Products. From T-shirts to swag, featuring over 100,000 products. We can put your logo on anything. And Vincent's Limousine Service, serving your corporate and private transportation needs since 2005.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
take every step without hesitation. Anticipate your next move with certainty. Because our trusted advisors help you prepare for challenges specific to your business. Our focus is always on you, so your focus is always forward. Experience the power of being understood. RSM, audit, tax, and consulting for the middle market.
You are watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the sports show as we All-Star games. We saw the hockey All-Star game today, and John Scott, your favorite, playing, etc. The Pro Bowl. Why even play the Pro Bowl anymore, Patrick? I don't know what that's about. Everybody declines. Even Mike McCarthy declined to coach in it.
There were 86 players named, and there were 47 substitutes.
That's what I mean.
And they went down the list of every quarterback and still didn't get to Jake Cutler.
You have to talk about everything?
It was a quick comment. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Those games, the only reason they have all those games is because of the money they make on stuff outside the game. As far as the writers go, you go to a Pro Bowl game, you probably never get a chance to talk to a player.
I bet you
do.
do,
Go to
'cause
a
nobody else
hockey
is there.
program, you don't get a chance. It's all commercials, all money.
You know what I can't figure out? Why? I was trying to say, okay, you know, I can see why you don't play the actual game in football and hockey because somebody get hurt. Why does the basketball NBA All-Star game not played as a basketball game? Why? Why do they turn it into a show? Why don't they play the real game like they do in baseball?
I don't know if that's just
because you're not going to get hurt. Why not play it?
Why not do it in the hockey?
Well, because they don't want to get hurt.
But you know, I like the Wild. I mean, a week seems like forever that they've played a game.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the season, you're kind of into it. And now maybe the players need the rest. I don't know.
Well, I think the Wild just needs a break here to try to find their offense. So it may be a good time for them. But well, what's the NHL doing with this 3-on-3 schoolyard, school rink competition? You know,
yeah,
they've kind of made
but
it.
That's
kind
where you're
of a
at,
joke.
kind of with this. You're trying to come up with something.
Now, one thing about the NFL, though, don't you think that they're going to move the Pro Bowl to L.A. once Kroenke gets his massive stadium built?
Doesn't he know it's time for you to give your last?
February 17th will be the favorite date of mine as far as this show goes because Mr. Never Shut Up Lavelle will be going to spring training.
So that's the day you're looking forward to?
Yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
You're going to miss my warm, buttery voice.
Not Valentine's Day. But, Sid, one more thought.
One more thought. The Gophers will win 2 games to beat Rutgers twice. That's about it. Timberwolves, I think, will win more games as the season develops. I looked at the standings, and there's a lot of teams not too far behind the Timberwolves and the number of games they won.
Is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.